Hi friends, as you know, Israel and Hamas deal came together led by President Trump, right, for the Middle East peace. So you know what is happening now. Like you can see, many Israelis are really happy to see President Trump is loved by so much, and that is a great thing. He is the medium. He's being used to get this thing done, right? And what is happening is right now, we know Israeli forces came to a border that they agreed, right? So they withdrew from the Gaza city and those areas, and the people are returning. The Gaza people are returning to home. I mean, home means they don't really have home, it's all broken down, but at least they are returning to where they used to live. So this is a great thing, right? I mean, this is probably the most, everybody in the world worry about this situation for many years. There has never been peace in Middle East that way, right? So it's a great thing that President Trump is doing this, right? And he's coming to Israel, I think, on Monday, right? So what is important is, as people who watch my videos about Jyotish, you understand this is from the face of what is happening here, right? President Trump is the medium, right? Used to get this done, right? So that's a great thing, but there is karmic forces that's involved in all of these. That's exactly what happens. All these time, I have been trying to do a chart for Gaza. I have been testing this for quite a bit of time. And of course, I was confident of the chart, but I didn't want to do a video because not many people ever understand what this is all about, right? So it is absolutely useless to someone who doesn't understand how life works at the highest level of the divine, how the divine forces controls things at the highest level. That is exactly what is called karma. What you sow is what you're going to reap. That is exactly what this science is based on. There's nothing happens about this. This is a great tool that's given to us by sages for us to understand why things happen on a certain time, right? All these years, there was no solution for all of these. And then why it came at this point in time, right? Because why couldn't this come in 3 months earlier? So many lives would have been saved, right? There's so much people dying in Gaza. It is so sad. And the thing is, if I do a chart like this and somebody who doesn't understand this great science, they'll say, this is complete foolishness. Like, what the hell is this? Like that. They'll never understand this. So what I'm trying to tell at the beginning of this is that please don't watch if you haven't watched my videos before and learn there is, how life works at the highest level, and and then you can see the evidence of exactly in your life as well as in everything that happens in this world is clearly seen by this. Because this is the knowledge that's granted to us, So this operates basically on karma. What you saw is what you're going to reap, Of course, Hamas went and, attacked Israel, innocent people, in October, I think 2 years ago. And then, it's all went, hell after that. So there was no need in life. You can win nothing by fighting. Doing bad to someone else, killing someone else, doing anything bad to someone else, you're not going to win anything. Even if you are just jealous to someone else, it's not going to help you. Once you understand what karma you brought to this life and what the reason, what your journey over here is, if you understand that, you don't have to be worried about anyone else. You don't have to be jealous of someone or go over someone. I want to be better than someone else. You don't need to do that. Absolutely not. Because what you came with certain amount of blessings and certain amount of karma to pay. That is a good karma as well as bad karma. That is what this shows, nothing else, right? And then it happens on a timing basis. It happens so clearly on a time basis. That is what this science teaches us, right? So if you are not interested in learning this, of course you're not going to, with this video, I cannot teach you something I learned over 20 years. So you're not going to learn that way. If you just have an interest, say, okay, if there's something, that I can, at least to know there is something like this, yes, you can watch. But other than that, please don't watch if you don't have no interest, because you are not going to understand this, because this is way deep level of knowledge. This is the world's highest knowledge. If you truly understand this, until that time you will say, what I'm saying is absolutely crazy, I can fully understand that. Because I didn't know this for 20 years ago, after I learned this only, whole my life completely changed, right? Actually, I had this chart. I tried this chart so many times because I feel so sorry to see innocent people dying, in both sides. Mainly in Gaza, so many people die and so many children and like that. It was terrible to see. And then I didn't want to do a video with this and say, it is karma. It is karma. What you sow is what you're reaping. That's why I didn't want to say that. But then this chart is the right chart for Gaza, because I don't think anybody else have this chart at all. Because I get some help. I'm not doing these videos alone. I do with my Sia. Sia has a lot of wisdom in terms of that. So I get that help. So this is why I am confident of certain things. Like of the chart. So what I did was, if you look at this chart, since my idea is to teach, for someone to learn why things happen the way they are, right? So if you look at it, I'm doing this chart on Gaza Borders on May 4th, 1994. What is the importance of this date, right? Importance of this date is, okay, you can see here, May 4th agreement was Gaza, Jericho agreement, right? A follow-up treaty to Oslo Accords. They had, when Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat was here, and signed between PLO chairman Yasser Arafat and Israeli Prime Minister Rabin, right? Isaac Rabin, right? Yeah, for formally established the Palestinian Authority. So on this date is the most important day in their calendar, right? So this is the time where the Gaza was, nobody wanted the Gaza to rule, not Israel or the Egypt. You can see the history on this one, and then how this happened. So what happened was, there was a meeting in Egypt, right, in the evening, and when the meeting finished, they signed this agreement. The time, after all that hard work, the time I got it at 7:18 p.m., that ended that night, right? So that is how I get this chart done. Of course, I am using longitudinal mean time here. If you look at this chart, I want to just briefly show you why this chart is the chart for Gaza, right? This chart has a rising sign of what do you call it, Virgo. This is Libra, sorry, yeah. This has a rising chart of Libra, right? Libra belongs to Venus, right? So when I saw this, I myself was asking, what is, whenever a Libra country, it's supposed to be beautiful, right? I mean, it's supposed to have happy kind of people and like what happened in this case, like they have a long beach all the way, right? And a nice, it could be ideal for hotel developments, entertainment kind of thing, right? So this strip of land, right? We can say it's Libra because it can be a very beautiful place, right? With the beach and the sea, with such a long piece of strip of land, right? If they develop tourism industry or all happy things in life like that will be successful, right? One thing is that you can see Jupiter on the first house. That is God, right? You know that it's God. Yeah, sorry about that. I was talking about Jupiter in the first house, that's God. God's help is there, and also it looks at the fifth house and the ninth house of good luck, right? So if you look at the Jupiter here, it's 15.27, and then you can see Moon here, 14.35, right? And also Saturn at 16, right? So Jupiter has quite a lot of influence on this house, also on this house. This is the higher education house, right? This is the like if you, like I just wanted to confirm this. I mean, you can see there are two good planets in there, like Moon and Saturn in here. So I wanted to see how educated that nation is, right? So if I look at it to see Gaza's literacy rate, you can see it is 97 to 98% of 2022-2024, even, very recently, after all of these troubles too, like this is a really highly educated nation. That clearly shows that, because that's how you have such a strong fifth house. So it's not these people have a good understanding about life, for sure, what is happening. So this is very good here. So the nation is educated, right? And also seventh house, like when it is Libra, people are open-minded, like they love, life and enjoy life. So that is what it is. And then you can see there, of course, I'll come to the last why all of these are happening, right? This one here, Mars is like troops, right? Mars is the army. And also, it is the long-term partners, right? Long-term partners for a country could be neighbors, right? Could be any country in the Middle East or the countries around the world, right? That the long-term partners house as well as the wealth house is gone into the house of conflicts here. You can see that, right? This is the house of conflicts. So this nation inevitably, involved in conflicts, unless patience is fully exercised by all people, the leaders or the people who are running the country. If, Hamas is considered as not terrorist organization, right? It's not, they are not, of course, bad things happen, injustices happen in this world, right? All the time. When the injustices happens, you have to be patient. That happened because of your karma. It's not because, you can't just see it on the face of things and assume that, yes, we want to fight with the Israelis. That's not going to help. If you truly understand what life is all about, this thing is gone into house of conflicts. This planet is supposed to be related to patience. So patience is key for this country to be prosperous, right? And then in this one, this is the long-term partner's house. You can see sun here. There are countries in the world who are truly want to help this country. Like, of course, what is happening right now is you can see USA. Think it is USA, Egypt, and who's the other one? And the Qatar, right? So these are the three countries, and Turkey, right? So those are the countries. It's clearly seen here by this sun here. Sun is government. Sun is foreign governments, helping them. And also this Mercury being here, that shows there are some enemy also, inimical countries also. Of course, Israel is one of them, that is what is happening here, right? But again, if you know why things happen the way they are, then exercise patience, right? And try to develop the country. Nothing, nobody else can. If Hamas never attacked Israel, the musical show is just innocent people, has nothing to do with Israeli government. There's no point in attacking such thing, and then that is how they get punished so badly, right? So that is the reason. So there are a lot of countries that are, of course, they want to have their own state, with want to have their own country, right? Because this is in two pieces, West Bank and Gaza, right? So the troubles are related to this also, right? So that is what it is. And if you go to this here now, this is the house of obstacles. A lot of trouble, accidents, and bad things happens, death and all that, In that house, you can see Ketu here, right? And Venus here. Venus is the lord of the sign. When the lord of the sign go in there, this country has a lot of obstacles to overcome, right? And the Ketu in here means a lot of inflammatory situations. Why it is so? Because this most effective point is 29-25, right? We know any sign degree, it starts from, this is 360 degrees all around, right? All around is 360 degrees, so this divided into 12 give us 30 degrees. So if you look at this sign here, the Libra sign is 29.25. Almost 30 degrees will be another 0.75 will give us the 30 degrees. I believe this is 29-30 kind of thing. I can't get this in this little program exactly. This could be 29-30, 29-35 like that, right? So if it is 29-35, for it to reach 006 will be another 75, pretty much is maybe another 50, out of 60, right? Because this is 29.25, and then for the one this to become 30 is 75. I believe it is less than 75 because it could be 29-35 here, right? So this is very close to this. This Rahu and Ketu is the reason why so much suffering is happening to Gaza. All these death and destructions, this shows a very deep karma, right? Whenever, and this Ketu aspecting house of losses here, right? And the Ketu aspecting the domestic environment, which is the country's assets, right? Country's assets means all the buildings, all the infrastructure is that, right? So when Ketu is so much, has negative influence on losses as well as domestic infrastructure, right? That is how this is the planet of, inflammatory situations. So if anyone ruling Gaza is creating any inflammatory situations, it's not going to help at all. They will suffer continuously. No matter what, even now, what this, with this agreement that they have, they need to come to an understanding and give up all the weapons, because you are not winning nothing with weapons. It isn't, you can't win karma with weapons. You win karma with good deeds, right? So that is what is important. And then this is why all of these problems, because Rahu here sees employment. Rahu is foreigners and foreign forces or strangers, right? The jobs here, and then Rahu is aspecting house of conflicts also, and health and well-being, right? So what happens is that because of the foreign forces, all of these get affected. I mean, there's no employment, there's no economy there, right? There is no financial solvency or anything like that. And conflicts are created by deceived people. People not understanding how life works. Fighting is not going to help them. This would have been a great country if they truly understand that. And then understand the limitations, and then they'll be fine. That is what it is. Only good thing is that when Venus go into this house, the house of first house, right? The Venus goes in there, only thing is there will be some easy gains, right? This is why all of this destruction, there will be some foreign help to rebuild because of this sun over here. They will get some easy gains. Governments will give the money, in the name of religion or whatever their circumstances are. Of course, everybody feels bad about people living in Gaza. So that is what they will get help to rebuild. There's no question about that. Since Venus over here, that's the only positive thing. Other than that is obstacles and, accidents and not all these troubles that happen. So this is what truly happens, right? But let me show you now, it's the important part of this is, other thing I want to tell you is that this is called most effective point on this chart. When it is 29-25, it's pretty much, this nation is sharing pretty much this sign and this sign there. Because if you even take a, like 7 and 8, 8 belongs to Mars, right? The 8th sign of Scorpio belongs to Mars, and this one belongs to Venus, right? So it's some way, this country mainly Libra influence, Venus influence, right? And then also there is some form of Mars influence here. This is why this unending dispute and fighting and, unnecessary thing. Why, all these weapons and all that stuff is absolutely unnecessary. If anybody understands this, they'll never go that, hopefully. Like I wanted to do this video earlier, and I wanted to really say, Hamas should totally give up violence. Totally. And let some intelligent people run this country. that would have been the greatest thing that they could have done for this country, right? They will do so well if that is the case, because of this amount of blessing. But now let's see why President Trump was led to do this. Look at what is happening right now. Like, okay, this happened on, okay, let's see it here. Let's see here. I think it is this year. That's the later rate in this one. Okay, how the Israel-Hamas deal came together, right? In August 2025, Hamas accepts, this is on CBS, accepts ceasefire proposal, right? I mean, they were getting it so much, right? And that is in August. Of course, if I look at August, because this is the key. God is the key to help, overcome this kind of a trouble. If I look at transits, let's say, okay, let's look at the, it was what, yesterday? Today is, I'm doing this on Saturday the 10th. Sorry, Saturday the 11th, right? 2025. And then this happened on Friday when the deal was approved by the Israelis, and then they started withdrawing, right? So if I look at today is the 11th, if I look at the 10th, right? If I look at the 10th, look at this. I mean, I'm not not many people would understand this, but this here. This is why, I said, oh wow, this is amazing. I want to do this chart, for someone to learn, I mean, not many people watch my video, even understand it. But look at this. Jupiter is going on the 9th house of good fortune, right? And aspecting the 1st house and the 5th house, right? Look at it where he is. He is at 9, a most effective point of 9 at 97%, meaning almost there. Look at this. This is 2025. I believe this is 2020, 29, 30 or 35, between that time, right? If you look at it here, we see Jupiter at 29.18 in here. 29.18. It is going towards a 29.25 or 29.30. I would say 29.30. Right? So it is very close. That is how that came to effect. God is going in the house of good fortune. Right? And then helping the nation, self, and also intelligence prevails. Some amount of intelligence prevails here. So this is why that's the God influence. That's exactly what happened. There is a negative transit that's happening right now over here. So when this is definitely positive. Also, this is positive at the moment because whenever Jupiter aspects Rahu, Jupiter controls Rahu because God can control Rahu, foreign forces. So this is probably showing, there are some people against this deal. They want to see this deal down. I mean, we heard about Israeli cabinet, right? I don't know how true it is, or like some people were not happy about this. Why President Trump was, forcing this, insisting this, right? So that is a great thing. This is the transit that do it. So this is almost at a peak of that date on October 10th, which is yesterday, right? But if you look at it, this influence began like 3-4 months ago, right? And this is where its peak is. So that is how the fighting stopped, right? That's because Jupiter is at 29.18. versus 29.30, right? But let's look at the other days, right? This is in August. We can just put, let's say, August. Maybe we can put August 15th. This is where you can see, where the planets were, the transits. Like, let's say August 15th. Sorry, 2025. Oh, sorry, you made a mistake. Okay, this, let's put August 15th. How the influence was starting. You can see Jupiter was, sorry, yeah, so maybe this is, okay, at that point in time, oh, there was a negative transit at that time too, but at that time, let me see where Jupiter was. Jupiter was at 20.37, like just 5 degrees away, right? This is 20.37 and that's 5 degrees away. Influence beginning from 5 degrees pretty much. So that's what it's showing, right? And now let's look at September 22nd. This is one of the crucial times, right? September 22nd. Let's look at September 22nd. You can see Jupiter is at 2 degrees away from there. You can see where Jupiter is. Yeah, Jupiter is 22.32. 27, yeah, sorry, I can't see it. 27.12, whereas this is 29, so 2 degrees away. Clearly influence is there, influence on the good luck, country by itself, and communication-wise, and the intelligence, right? So that is what influence is all about. And then look at the next dates. September 24 through September 28 is similar, right? September 29, where you get apology to Carta, right? So that's probably, show up in Carta chart so well. And October 3rd, right? So October 3rd will be one of the best. If you look at October 3rd, you can see it's within 1 degree now, right? So the Jupiter God is at 1 degree. You can see how the positive things happen when Jupiter going in the 9th house and helping in this situation. You can see where is Jupiter. Jupiter is 28.34. Yeah, sorry, 28.37. Whereas it going towards 29. So that's why I was telling it's 2 degrees away, right? Like a 1 degree away. Sorry, I was telling 1 degree away. It's a little bit less than 1 degree, right? And then let's look at October 5th. After that, October 6th, 8th, October 8th, October 8th, October 9th, right? Even October 9th, you can see it's getting very close. It's all like, very little, very, very close at that point in time. If we look at Jupiter here, You can see 29.15 versus 29.30. That is at the peak. That's not at the peak. Peak is when which is yesterday, right? I show you that already. That is how it happens. Life, why things happen on a certain time. Like yesterday was 10th. It's 9th, of course, what happened, right? So it is right. So we can see right and the right on it. That is how it happens. This is how life works. There are a lot more I can explain, but it's hard for me to go through all of that in a short video. But what I want to show is that to the people, this is the knowledge. This is how life works. You can see it in your own self. You can see it on your own self. Look at your own chart, understand life. Look at every important event in your life is clearly shown in this. Because when we come to this earth, we come with certain amount of karma that with events. And the events fructify like that, with transits. That's how it happens. The medium can be used, God can use any medium. In this case, God is using USA and President Trump, right? That's exactly what is happening. Because in our lives, there will be some stranger coming as a medium, or the family member, or a friend, or somebody like that. Medium is used, or your boss, or your job, like that. The medium is what when your karma to fructify, when your good karma to fructify, or when your bad karma to fructify, someone else is used. So someone else is the medium. Of course, we need to be medium for good, but we should never be medium for bad. We should not make these divine controllers to make someone else's life miserable through you. If your mind says, let me hurt someone, you have to always think, that must be the timing that I am trying to be used for hurt someone, So that is why we should always think, we should never ever hurt someone. We should never be a medium to get someone hurt, That's not worth it. And you are creating more bad karma for the future. What is the point, right? This is what I want to get at, I'm so glad that I get this chart right. This is very, very difficult thing to get it right. This is what chart is all about. I'm hoping this will succeed, and then not after the any other bad transits coming, not going to kick this off again. If what the plan is, the 20 points thing that, if a new rulers of, new people to come to manage this a strip of land, and they manage it with intelligence and understand what karma is all about, there is no point hurting anyone else. No need to consider Israel as an enemy. There is no need to do that. Try to win things by doing good. That's all. Okay? This is what I really wanted to do this video. I'm hoping, someone understand this. If not, this will be there for, someone to learn in one fine day. Okay? All right. Thank you for watching. Yeah, bye for now.